Hey YouTube, we're back! So Joe, Josh in the garage, and look, Josh has grown like 3 feet, but I promise it is him. And a lot's changed in our life. We've had a lot of crazy stuff going on the last 2 years. We've moved and a bunch of other stuff. But the subject of today's video is these ladders. Okay, so pre-Black Friday deal at Harbor Freight Tools. I picked this ladder up, I think for $99. I'll double check and I'll annotate that if it's not right. But like $99, and I've been really impressed with it. Used to borrow this one from a neighbor and thought I'd borrow it one more time so we could compare the two. So what are we going to do, Josh?
Alright, so we're going to do weight, and then we're going to compare things like weld quality, quality of the metal used, stuff like that. And basically just see which one's overall the better ladder.
Yeah. So is it worth spending the big bucks on the Little Giant, or should you get the Franklin ladder for $120 or $99 if you can do it on the sale at Harbor Freight Tools? Let's find out. All right, so one quick note. This is a 17-foot ladder. This is a 19-foot ladder. So in the weighing and everything, we'll list the weight by linear foot. And we're only going to test them out to 17 feet so that the test is somewhat fair. 16.5 inches with no weight, and this is with the Franklin ladder fully extended. Okay, to test the flexibility, we're going to use AR500 plates because that's what we have here. So we have 63 pounds of AR500. We're going to set that right on the middle like that, and we're going to measure again and see what we have. We're at 15.5 inches. Now for our height, 15.5 inches, and that's with 63 pounds on the middle.
Yep.
All right, so now we have the Little Giant, exact same test, and the jack stands are at the same distance. Little Giant starts at 17 1/8 inch. All right, so we've placed 63 pounds on. Now one thing to note is before the plates would ride right between the rails. This is not as wide as the Franklin ladder, so now it's kind of riding up on this back side. It's close, but it's not quite as wide. So let's go ahead and measure that. Okay, and we're measuring that. That's going to be at 15 3/4 of an inch. And measure it from my side too, so I can make sure. That's kind of yeah. So at 15 3/4 of an inch, so that's 1 3/8 inch of flex that the Little Giant has. The Franklin had 1 inch of flex. All right, this is something Josh noticed and he wanted me to point out. Look at the difference in the base of the ladders. We both actually like the Franklin better. We noticed that the Franklin actually has a higher weight rating. It's rated to 300, whereas this Little Giant is rated to 250. But look at the gusset here that they have. You know, this cross support. It's just a flat piece that's been welded there. This one, you have a piece of tubing that's been stamped, and then you also have this additional support right here that's been attached. That's actually pretty impressive. We both like that. Okay, one other thing while we're down here, we noticed that the Little Giant is a little bit wider, so I think that actually gives that an edge on width. So this one is 23 1/4 inches wide at the base, and 23.5 on that outer edge. And this one at the base is going to be 26 1/4 inches wide, so you get nearly 3 extra inches of width. One other thing, and Josh noticed this too, the Franklin ladder has a wider stance, so it's not quite as wide this way, but when you fold it out, it actually ends up being nearly 6 inches wider, about 5 3/4 inch wider than the Little Giant. The adjustment knobs are a lot bigger on the Franklin, and also you just have a lot more surface area to work with on the Franklin than on the Little Giant. So let's adjust it. Let's just demonstrate adjusting them down to a shorter height. Okay, that's on the Little Giant. And just for fun, let's go ahead and collapse. There we go. And then to collapse it all the way. And you know, it's not bolt welding. You really have to smack these. You really have to smack them pretty hard to get them to go in. That would be collapsing the Little Giant. Let's do the same thing with this one. That's a big difference in height. And then other side here. Okay, we're making a little big adjustment on this, but just like that in. That side in. To collapse all the way, you smack those. And so you can see the difference in knob size on the little Giant versus on the Franklin. One other thing I just noticed looking at this, look at the thickness. This might explain the difference in the flex. So that's the top, those are the actual, support rails for that joint on the little Giant, and here they are on the Franklin.
The Franklin also has extra.
Yeah, we'll measure that, but it's got 2 on the inside and the other one just has the 1. Anyway, that's interesting. I hadn't noticed that. If you want. All right, so we're all done here. We've tested the rigidity, the flexibility, we've weighed them, we've tested making adjustments, we've looked at the stability, we've played with the rubber stops on the bottom. Josh, what's your final verdict? Where are you at?
Overall, I think the Franklin is a better price. It is more versatile. I like that it's smaller because it fits more places. They do have the same size in the little Giant, but I'd overall go with the Franklin. I think it's better. So
I would too. We're both shocked. We thought this would be a list of like, okay, the little Giant's way better, but this is way cheaper, so you have to weigh that. I like the Franklin better. I wish that the base was maybe a little wider. Maybe on the taller version it would be. This is a taller ladder. But on the whole, this one is made well. It's easy to adjust. The weight per linear foot is almost identical to the little Giant. The little Giant is 1.84 pounds per linear foot. This is 1.88. So there's hardly any difference in weight. And honestly, it feels like it's really well made, and it's easy to use, easy to adjust. Yeah. If they were similar prices, I'd probably go with the Franklin. Yep. Yeah. Surprise!
Look at that, Harbor Freight did something good.
Yeah, they done something good. They did something right.